Okay, let's do a knitted pumpkin. So I'm going to cast on and leave a tail about how long? I don't know. A little longer. So that will be for when we're tying on the bumps of the pumpkin. So leave however much you think you'll need to tie those on. This one I had way more than I needed. So I found that about that much works. We're going to knit 30 rows. So cast on by going back and forth on the needles and setting the counter to 0. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so starting from there, I'm going to do around 30 rows. Sometimes I do 32. Okay, so I got to 31. Now I need some scissors. And I'll just snip off about the same amount in case I need extra. And then get it off the machine. Okay. And I take this end, pull that closed, and then I'm going to get a needle on there. I'm going to turn this inside out. So I'm going to push this end inside of the other one. So you see, like, that side is on the inside and the other end is on the outside. And then I'm going to stick this through. The other end. So now both the ends are hanging out here. And I'll tie a knot there. I'll pull those closed and tie a knot. 2 knots. 1, 2. It looks like my tension was a little off, so there's like some weird bumps and stuff, but if you stretch the knitting around, it evens itself out usually. Okay, now we'll stuff it. So I'll use like, let's see, like a handful of stuffing. Enough that it could squish all down into my hand. If it feels too tight, you can take some out. I'm going to take some out. Okay, now I'm going to stick the needle back up through the stuffing. Just feel around until it goes in. So in the bottom and out the middle, the top. And now I just kind of go around the edge. I don't really have a good way for this, but I'm impatient, so I kind of do a bunch of stitches at once. And then do the next section of stitches. And you'll see that as you're going around, that starts to close up. So just keep going around. I kind of try and stay on the inner edge. Keep going. I used to try and do this every other stitch and it just takes forever, so I do it this way now. And the last one, I'm going to try and get all of these in one. And pull it. Mine never really closes all the way, but it will close more in the next steps. All right. Yeah, so you can still kind of see in there. Pull that tight, but not too tight, because you can snap yarn this way too, but you know, get some, you can feel how tight it is. And then when I stick the needle back through, I kind of stick it on the other side of the hole to help close it up again a little bit more. So sticking it back through to the other side. It closes a little more there. Pulling that tight. And then on this side, where the other string is, you can tie another knot. So, whoop, kind of hold it tight there again and tie a knot. Or 2 knots. All right, so we just got like a squishy round shape. And now we do the lines of the pumpkin. I usually end up with 6 bunches, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They almost look like petals. I've done some that have only 5. Like this one only has 5. I think 5 or 6 looks fine, but for me it's easier to count out 6, because with 5, like these two look bigger, but it still looks like a pumpkin to me. But when I'm trying to get 6, I like to go, so the strings are poking out of this side, and we're going to wrap it around, oops, that's the short one, take the long one and wrap it around and poke it into the other side. So it's attached on this side, and we're just wrapping it around, poking at the other side. And just wiggle it around till you can get it through the hole. And then when you pull it through, before you get it too tight, you can kind of line it up with some of the stitches. And then you pull until it's kind of tight. So that's one. We're going to do 6 more. And I like to do the second one right across from it. So there's right in the middle. So I'll do that one. Stick it through. Without getting this other end tangled in there. Okay. Pull that one tight, do the other side. This is hard to show and sew, so I hope this makes sense. Okay. I always find this is the hardest part, is to get the needle through to the other side. So I try to use metal needles, because the plastic ones, I've bent them a little bit. Right. That's 2 scrunches in. Now this one I'm going to put it kind of 2/3 of the way. And line it up in the row. And this one goes in the middle of that bump. Okay, to pull that tight. So now you can see on the top half, there are 3 bumps, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do another line there and another line there to make 3 bumps on the bottom. or just 2 if you want to have a five bump pumpkin. Right. And the last one before we tie more knots. Right there. What? Oh, I didn't line it up, so I'm going to loosen it. Okay. There we go. Now tie under, over, under, whatever, 2 knots. That's it for the basic pumpkin shape. And you can add any kind of stem you want. Let's see. I was going to show a pumpkin with a felt stem. Oh. So my friend made me one that's a strip of felt, and then they sewed through the ends of it and tucked it in. I've also done little crochet stems. We start with a base chain of 3 on the way up, and then on the way back you do 2 single crochet into each chain, and that makes it curl a little bit like that. Give a little pumpkin stem kind of curl. To go in. This is hard to show, but once you've got whatever stem you want, if you just sew it through, you can tie it to the strings at the bottom and then snip them all off. And then you will want to make a bunch more.